Hello Linux fans, Rob here and welcome to Linux Quest. Today we've got to look at Deepin 20. That's right, it's out of beta. I'll go ahead and let you know the installer has no live option, so be prepared to full-on install Deepin 20. You will have two kernel options, 4.5 and 4.7 at install. I also want to say that the installer is very different from most other Linux installers, and it's also very professional looking. I also want to warn you and go ahead and make a drinking game out of this, because I think that Deepin Desktop is one of the most visually appealing desktop environments in Linux today. Now, to each his own there, and in the world of Linux, we've got 1,000 options, so if you don't like what Deepin looks like, you've got multiple choices. But you're gonna hear, go ahead and make a drinking game out of this. You're gonna hear words like beautiful, polished, professional, things like that, adjectives like that. So every time you hear me say beautiful or polished, go ahead and have a drink. Let's have fun with it. There's a lot to jump in and see here visually, but beauty is skin deep. That might not equate to a good UI or a good workflow experience for you, but it sure is fun to jump in and see visually what Deepin 20 is all about. So let's get to it. So when you first boot into Deepin 20, you're going to be greeted with a very nice welcome screen, and you'll be stepped through a few selections here as we're going to step through. You'll be greeted with a very nice, well-made introduction video. Just be prepared, there is a background song playing for this video, so if your speakers are turned up, be ready for it. So during the initial setup, you're going to have an option of two modes. You'll have fashion mode and efficient mode. So efficient mode is going to be more like your traditional Windows 7, Windows 10 layout, while fashion mode is going to have your launchers here in the center, your icons for launching your applications in the center, while you'll have your system information on the right, and then your application launcher and things like multitasking view, desktop view here on the left. I prefer fashion mode, so we're going to stay with that. Then you also have two running modes. You have effect mode and normal mode. Now I've got this installed on the little B link, and it can handle effect mode just fine. I've tried it, but I went ahead and chose for this video normal mode. But let's just switch so that you can see there's subtle changes. You have some transparency window effect going on here. I'll tell you what, we'll leave it like this for the duration of the video. And then you have options for dark versions of those icons with Papyrus here at the end. You'll be greeted with a very lovely kind of space looking wallpaper here, which is easy enough to change. By simply right-clicking on the desktop, you'll see a series of wallpapers pop up here at the bottom, and this is no different than previous versions of Deepin. And so we're going to go through and just choose something here on the fly. That's kind of cool looking. That brightens things up quite a bit. And some of your other right-click options include new folder, new document, sort by if you had icons on your desktop, quick access to your icon size here. So let's go ahead and go new folder, and we'll give that a name here of just new. Check out what icon size looks like for super large. Pretty large indeed. Let's take that back down to a tiny size here, so you can see what they've done there with the text just because the size of the icon. So we'll take that back to medium. You can auto arrange or sort by name, time, modified, size, and type. Some of your other options include select all, open in terminal, display settings. So this is going to launch you into the control panel, which we'll go ahead and take a look at. And as you can see, this dark theming that I have in place applies extremely well throughout the system. It gives it a very cohesive and polished look. That's your time to drink. So from here, you can go right into resolution for your monitor. Adjust your brightness, color temperature, so you've got night shift built right in, and you can change your color temperatures here from cool to warm. And you don't know if you'll see that in the video or not, but it's a definite effect. And I'm going to go back to cool just a little bit there. You've also got display scaling, simple slider, and refresh rate. While we're here, let's just go ahead and maximize. I want to point out to you these rounded corners, and you're going to see that throughout the Deepin Desktop. A lot of use of rounded corners, and then a lot of visual changes just to anything highlighted items here. You see you've got rounded corners here, so it all matches rounded corners within search. So there's been a lot of detailed attention put in place for this desktop here. Now when you maximize it, the rounded corners go away to fill out the entire screen. And I'll just point out here that your lower taskbar stays in place. There's no auto adjustment there, although we can get into that where you can change your desktop or change the bottom panel from top to bottom to right and left, and then change that status to keep shown, keep hidden, or smart hide. So we're going to go ahead and bounce that over to smart hide, and now you're going to see that this will fill the entire screen and it will slide up here from the bottom as needed. Lots of things to dig into here, but I just wanted to point out here, as you maximize something, it doesn't keep that rounded corner look, because that would look odd if you had rounded corners here. It would be showing the background of your desktop. All right, let's go ahead and start from the top here within Control Panel. You've got Accounts, where you can go in and change your system image, change your name, choose Auto Login, which I'm going to do here. So let me go ahead and type in the password real quick one time and confirm that. Deepin ID, and I haven't signed up for that. Display, which we talked about earlier. Default applications. Again, everything visually stays very consistent throughout any of these settings. Personalization, so let's go ahead and change things up a bit here. Let's go with this lighter green. You can see the immediate change there, or just to give you an idea, go back to a gray, purple. You can also adjust the transparency, so you can see the bottom panel here. Go ahead and lighten that all the way up for kind of a glass effect, if you will. And then the window minimize effect, you've got magic lamp and scale. Let's see what magic lamp looks like. Here you can change your theme as well. Then icon themes, cursor theme, so I've got that set to white right now. Let's go to bloom dark, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. And from here you can adjust your font size and font type. Pretty full selection of fonts there, but you know, this is Linux, so you can install fonts easily. Then from there we've got network, everything from wired to wireless, DSL, set up a VPN. That's interesting. Nothing there, but I don't have a VPN set up, so that makes sense. System proxy, application proxy, set up a personal hotspot, and then we've got network details here. Under notifications, you can show that icon on the dock if you prefer. You can set up do not disturb, and then you've got individual settings for each of the applications for system notifications. I just love how nice and simple this is laid out. They've really done a nice job here. Same thing for sound settings. Everything from speaker, microphone, advanced settings is going to allow you to go in and choose your outputs and inputs. And then you've got various sound effects. That's one of the things about Deepin that's kind of fun. You never know what kind of shutdown or boot up sound you're going to have, or notification sounds. You can tell they put a lot of attention to the various sounds to go along with the visual cues of the desktop. Here we have Bluetooth settings, date and time. It's quick and easy if you wanted to change here from 24-hour to 12-hour time, just one click. Power settings, your mouse settings for double-click speed, as well as left and right hand setup, your mouse acceleration, as well as natural scrolling settings. Keyboard and language here, so you've got layout, system language, and the much loved shortcuts for all of you keyboarders out there. Quite a few here to choose from, and the ability to add your own custom shortcuts. Next up, we have updates, and it looks like the system is up to date, and I've rebooted more than once, so I would say we're good to go there. System info here, so we've got version 20, 64-bit with the 5.4 kernel. And last but not least here, general settings. So we could set up a startup delay, and you can choose your system startup theme. So here we go. I missed this earlier. The user experience program. By collecting and analyzing the information of your device, system, and applications, as well as exceptions, this program helps to improve the quality. So I'm turning this off here. This is your decision if you want to allow information to be sent from your system, but this is getting into, you might as well use Windows 10 or something like that. That's in the background collecting information about your system. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and I may have inadvertently accepted this during setup without paying a lot of attention in my zest to get this thing up and running quickly. So pay attention to that at install. All right, so moving on from there, let's go ahead and go back here, and this again for quick launch, it's large, it's in your face, but visually it's just beautiful looking. Go ahead and drink. That's your time to take a sip. So job well done on the control center. All right, from there, let's move over to the application launcher. Here you're going to have quick launch, not to applications, but this is quick launch into your file explorer. So home, documents, photos, music, video. The last one is there, but we'll launch right here. I guess downloads. Okay, that makes sense. I think they've done a very nice job in the tweaks to their file manager here. Let's go over to settings. You can connect to a server from here, set a share password. Let's go into settings, see what options we have. Always open the folder in new window. You can go from single click to, or from double click to single click here. Open default, so you could choose which folder to open into. Let's go to home here. Open a new tab in which directory. You can also go to view size. So let's go to medium and we'll see what that looks like. And then you have also icon and list options. There are more setting options here than what I recall in previous versions of Deepin, but it's been a while since I've run Deepin, so don't hold my feet to the fire on that. Let's go to view. Some of those I think could change. Now that was an open behavior, so default size, medium, and icon. Auto index internal disk. So you've got some indexing options here. So as we scroll down under preview, so you could choose to show previews in images or videos. You can also hide the system disk here. Mount options for USB and that kind of thing, auto mount. Let's see here. The other thing you can do is change any of these system themes for the particular application. So in this case, if I wanted a light themed file manager, it's that quick and easy to change. That's blinding, so we're going to go ahead and go back to the dark theme. So from within computer, you're not going to be able to change any look here. When we go into home directory, that's when you can change from list view to icon view. Two defaults, list view and icon view. You also have a slider here. I will say that things like these slider buttons and things are sometimes too large. They could stand to tweak that. Now, some other things I've found here, just detailed things here. So some other things I've discovered, if you create a folder within any given directory, you've got some tag information here that you can apply. So I set one as important earlier, and you could change the color of that tag. So we'll give that a light blue under new folder here. And actually, let's go back and apply a tag. So whatever you want to come up with, and I'm just going to call that new. And once you have applied that tag, it's going to show up here for quick launch. So that is certainly a nice addition. And again, I don't recall if that, I think the color option was there, but I'm not sure the tag option was there in say 2 versions back on Deepin. But nevertheless, pretty good job here within the File Explorer. All right, let's move on from there and look at some of the other built-in system apps. So some of the apps you're going to find, so under the application launcher, you're going to have all categories, and that'll take you into some set main categories: internet, music, video, graphics, office, system, and other. So we're going to go into system here, and I want to point out that Deepin has a lot of their own design and built-in applications, such as the file manager, which we just looked at, the app store, which we're going to get into. They have their own terminal. They also have their own calendar, their own calculator, their own video manager, their own photo manager. So let's just go ahead and pop into a few of those. Let's look at photos. That's keeping the dark theme. So we've got all photos, timelines, and albums. Again, the rounded corners. They've got their own music player. So that's all aesthetically staying within the same, visual appearance. And again, it's absolutely beautiful to use. Again, time to drink. So that's now dark. I believe in the previous version, even though you had a dark theme chosen, it would show up light without the option to choose, or maybe you had to go in and manually choose to make it dark, but now that's working just fine. So you got year, month, week, and day. And again, visually, it's just so polished and well done. So that's some of their own built-in apps. Let's jump over and take a look at the application store. This is an area of weakness, or has been in the past for Deepin. It's been slow to use. I never was thrilled with the way things were laid out. A lot of times you would see missing information. So you see here how slow this is to populate. And I imagine, this is connected to a server in China where things are being indexed, and I'm not sure what that app is. Well, I'll check that later. But with such a huge listing and cataloging of applications, I'm sure that puts strains on the system, the more people that are using it and pulling in. So from here, you can do a quick search. And so let's do Kdenlive, because I'm going to have to install that anyway, if I could spell. And so we'll do a quick search and just see how quickly it'll pull that up. So there we go. Okay, they have improved this overall layout. So you're getting some photos of what the app's going to look like. Version information, so this is well done here. Last updated. I like this. So there are no user comments here, but if we were signed in, we could post comments. Not bad at all. We'll go ahead and click install there and just kind of see how long this is going to take. We'll keep an eye on this as we move on, see what options we have here. So again, you can change the theme here, clear the cache. Okay, let's see, it's been a little slow to pop. Okay, cloud sync, so we'll go ahead and skip over that for now. And you see here, this is just, it says downloading, but it just appears nothing is happening. So you've got categories here, quick categories for ranking. Kdenlive failed to install. We'll have to take a look at that later. So they've got a ranking system in place here for some of the more popular applications, VLC, Firefox. I don't know much about the Deepin repos and what all is available. Let's just see if you can install Chrome from right here. We'll go ahead and give that a whirl, see what happens. And this is where, again, I'm clicking install, but nothing's happening. Let's see if there's any pop-ups in the background. Doesn't appear to be. So this is an area, again, where you start getting into the root of things. It's like a Ferrari, a beautiful Ferrari. It's beautiful to look at. It's engaging and exciting to drive. But sometimes when you get into the mechanics of things on a Ferrari and you realize the cost involved and the maintenance involved, you start to wonder if it's worth it. So here, just trying to do a simple thing like install Chrome. Let's look at a few more categories. Office. You can see this is slow to load and populate. And I've got a decent internet connection, so it's just their servers. See, they're slow to populate. You're going to see WPS right up there. That is also a Chinese application, so I'm sure it's very popular. So Brave does look like it's installing, although extremely slow. It's not a huge application, so we'll go ahead and let it finish. So I'll minimize that and let's move on from there. And everything is failing to install, so we'll hit cancel there as well. All right, so from there, let's jump back down here to the taskbar. Here you've got maximize and minimize for system activities, everything from the keyboard, any other running apps, music player we have here, which we'll go ahead and close. And you've got an option here, so if you go to close out, you've got an option for exit, minimize to system tray, and do not ask again. So we're going to go ahead and hit exit. You've got your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and a minimize button. Here you're going to see Notification Center pop up on the right, and it's going to be very much in keeping with the attractive appearance of whatever theme that you have in place. So you've got a little quick sweep icon here. Close all of that out. Quick jump to the calendar from your clock and date. Your logout options here: shut down, reboot, suspend, hibernate, lock, and log out. So we're going to go ahead and hit escape. And last but not least, you've got a recycle bin. So we're going to jump into that, and we'll go ahead and empty the trash. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few more of the Deepin applications. One of their own built-in applications is Screen Clip, and so from there it went right into a full screen clip. And once you click your mouse, you've got an option for screenshot, record, choose the shape that you want to clip. You've got options for creating text or drawing on that screen clip. And you can save to the clipboard, desktop, pictures folder, and a couple of file format options. So that's nicely done. Another of their own tweaked or built-in applications is Draw. It's a simple drawing tool. If you want to go in and draw various shapes. And it's again a well-done application. It's very cohesive and just makes the operating system feel extremely unified. The terminal, staying in play there with rounded corners, dark theming in place, cohesive, and again, very attractive. Now, let's take a look if we want to pin a favorite application here on the panel, what that might look like. So let's go down here to Calculator. I'm going to right-click and choose Send to Dock. And just like that, it's going to place that on the dock. Now, you can left-click and drag that anywhere on the dock you choose. Let's go ahead and change location here to the left and see how that configures itself. So once you choose left, you're going to have your application launcher here in the top left-hand corner. I'm not sure if there is a way to change that or move that to the bottom like you can with, say, XFCE or KDE for that matter. Let's see what happens when you go to efficient mode on the left. So that shrinks things down a little bit, and that's actually a better look. It's taking up less space. Not bad at all there. So I did a quick reboot there just to see if the deb file of Kdenlive installed. It shows that it's installed. However, it is not showing up in the application launcher. So I'll dig into that a little later. Just wanted to give you a quick little side note, because as we dig into the beauty and the polish and the loveliness that is the Deepin desktop, it's not until you get in and really start to use it like previous versions that you start to find little nuance areas where things start to fall down a little bit. Again, back to my Ferrari analogy. You don't want to take a 300-mile trip in a two-seater Ferrari per se. It's great to drive around on, twisty, beautiful, windy roads, but for long periods of time, it's just not ideal. And that's kind of my analogy for Deepin. Beautiful, looks great. Kind of the sports car of desktops, if you will. But when you get in and you start driving for a while, you start to pick up on things that kind of take away from all of that work and effort that's gone into the appearance. From a usability standpoint to where I'd want to keep it on my system as a daily driver, or there are options now, for example, with other distros that are taking the Deepin desktop, applying it as the desktop environment of choice for that particular distro that may not in the background have all of these other issues. And I often find that that's a pretty good option if you're really into or wanting to give the Deepin desktop a try. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.